Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of Writing Light. My name is Wayne Selznick, and every week I get in front of this camera and talk to you about my experiences writing the first draft of my second novel, Light of the Outsider. Sometimes I'll read excerpts. More often than not, though, I'm going to talk to you about an insight that I may have had in the previous week's writing. And that's what we're going to do this week. So during the previous week's writing, I had to write a scene where two people who care very deeply for each other, they are the most important people in each other's worlds, they are faced with a conflict. One person has an opportunity to save the other, but the moral cost that would require is unacceptable to the person who needs saving, and they don't want to be saved if it comes to that. It was an exhausting scene to write, and I was thinking about it afterwards. And it was exhausting because, well, because I got into it. Because I was able to get into the heads and the hearts of both characters. The experience of that once again reminded me that there are tremendous similarities, I think, between the act of writing and the act of acting. Now, I haven't been on stage as an actor since 9th grade, 8th grade, and so, that was quite a long time ago. But I'm fascinated with actors' creative processes, especially embracing and being embraced by the characters they're trying to play. Because I really think that to be effective writers of human beings, we have to be able to truly take on the roles of the characters we're I almost said portraying, but writing. The roles of the characters we're writing. And that in turn made me think about, how you often hear that many people really begin to write seriously later in life. And I wonder if that's because the life experiences that person might have finally reached a point where they can accurately and truly and from the heart portray the characters they're writing about. There's all kinds of flaws in that theory, I'm sure, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But it got me thinking, and I wondered how many of you really feel as though you are performing when you're writing. And I don't mean performing for an audience. I mean that you are performing a role when you are writing. The roles of the various characters. I recently read something by an author that I know has, this person is no spring chicken. They've been around for a while. They've been on this earth for a while. I presume that they've had life experiences in that time, and yet they wrote this what could have been a very emotionally charged scene that made you really care and feel for the characters, and it was written like a melodrama, like a really bad soap opera, and it made me think, that author did not draw upon the life experience, the pain that you have to encounter if you've been on this earth and interacted with other human beings for any length of time. And why not? Why didn't they go there? Fear, maybe? Lack of self-knowledge, maybe? I don't mean to say that I am 100% self-aware or fearless, but at least I recognize that you've got to face the things inside yourself, and the good experiences and the bad experiences inside yourself and in your history and in your life, if you're going to to accurately portray those things in your fiction. Now, granted, maybe it's not important to you to do that in your fiction. Maybe the things that happen in your story are more important to you than the impact those things have on the characters in your story. That's not me. I write stories first and foremost that are about people and the way people interact and what it means to be a human being in all of our amazing, fascinating, beautiful complexity. But that means that sometimes you gotta dig, and you've got to become very familiar with your own demons and faults and issues. And that, my friends, is exhausting. But that's something that I experienced this week in writing that scene. It put me through the ringer, and it lingered in my head like having a knockdown, drag-out argument with a loved one will linger with you for days, and you just can't shake the feeling and the sadness and the tragedy of it all. I felt that way for an hour or two about these fictional characters because I was performing them. I hope that made for a better scene and ultimately a better book. We'll find out. So I want to know, when you're writing, first of all, is it important to you to really portray what's really going on with your characters? Or is the action, the plot, let's say, more important to you? If the characters are important, how brave are you, honestly? How deep are you willing to go into your own stuff to make the actions and the reactions and the interactions of the characters ring true? Let me know. All the usual ways to give feedback to this show are along the bottom there. And it would be neat to get some voicemails or even response videos. You can do that, on the YouTube. It would be fun to see some of that. I look forward to hearing what you think. And that's going to do it. Thanks very much for hanging out with me on this Saturday afternoon for another episode of Writing Light, or Writing Light of the Outsider. My name is Matthew Wayne Selznick. Take care.